Jenny. Welcome to Miami Podcast. Today's a super cool episode. It's a first for us because we are not in our usual studio. We are on location at the Faena with Style on the Spot, and our guest is Kevin.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. I know it was a crazy scheduling, but we made it happen. You're here. We're here.
Absolutely.
This is awesome. So there's so much I want to talk to you about. But first thing, Riva Transportation.
Yes.
Your beautiful baby, your business.
Yes.
Tell me, how did this come about?
Well, first of all, it's a transportation company. It's chauffeur services, right? How did it start off? That's a great question. That's the simplest question, though. It wasn't nothing crazy. It's a simple story. I've always been interested in business and starting a business. And I was working with a record label a couple years ago, and just to kind of like simplify the story, working with a record label. And I noticed that they had a bunch of artists that needed to move around, and they needed transportation for their shows, for the music videos and stuff like that. And just on my mindset, I try to figure out a way where can I add value to this business? And I see that they're always needed to move around. They're always calling Ubers. I'm like, hey, what if I call some of my friends that, they have cars and stuff and send them some business so I can add value to my friends and add value to, the business that I'm working in. And it started to make sense. I sent some business to both sides, and I was like, hey, how can I make some money off of this? So I just kind of, in a short story, kind of just started that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we were talking earlier about business mentality, and I feel like that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
You saw an opportunity.
Yeah, always. My parents, when I grew up, they were always, they had their own businesses, and we always used to travel all the time, and they were able to work remote. And I found that so cool. And I always wanted to just travel all the time and not be able to be stuck in one place.
Right.
And do some cool things. So I was like, this is kind of like the life I want to live. I want to be able to travel. Although I'm not there yet, because I feel like I got to be grounded now where I'm at with my business. But I know that's where it's going.
For sure. Yeah. So the business is only 2 years old, right?
A year and a half, yes.
A year and a half. Okay.
Officially, yes.
You guys opened mid-2020?
End of 2020, beginning of 2021. Yeah.
How was that, like that experience? Because we're dealing with a pandemic. I mean, we still kind of are, but not at that scary level.
Right. I mean, you know what? Miami, this is Miami podcast, right? So like, was there really COVID in Miami?
No.
Not really.
No.
Maybe just March, April.
Yeah. We were like in a bubble, I feel like.
Yeah. To be honest, it wasn't, I feel like I thrived in that time because everyone else, like when their businesses were kind of hurt, I was just working with just one client, which was the record label that I was working with. And they were just growing regardless. So I was like, if they're growing and I could do something for them, I could grow with them too. So instead of like going backwards, they were going forward and I was going forward with them. So it was absolutely the opposite. Instead of going backwards, it was just going forward during COVID. So it was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any hesitations?
Even before I started this business, I was always trying to do business. I was always trying to sell something. I got into like a network marketing company, just selling things, trying to rent cars for friends, just anything that I got my hands on. But I never started my actual legitimate business. I was excited. It wasn't scary. I was excited.
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 phases when starting a business. It's like the first phase is like excitement without knowing what's ahead of you. Right. And then the second phase is like you're in and you're like, oh shit, like
this is real.
Yeah, like I'm excited, but like reality's hitting. It's not easy like you think. And then you pass to the next phase where it's like, okay, I know this is where it's like, this is what's real. This is what it takes. Now let me build my excitement back again. Am I willing to continue doing this? And then when you're past the third phase, it's like, okay, I know what it takes, what's required, and this and that. Am I willing to do it? Yes. Okay.
Right. I feel like it's like entering a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you just got to make sure it's the right one so that once you come off that natural high of the excitement, you're still invested.
Yeah. And it's like you like as soon as you start a relationship, it's like you're blindly in love.
Yeah.
Same thing. You don't know what's ahead of you. You're like,
Right.
oh wait,
Everything's good.
yeah. Which is not the
Yeah.
case ever,
Right.
ever. Not in relationships, not in business. I don't think so.
So now that you bring that up,
Yeah.
how do you deal with those moments where it's not so great, those challenges?
Man, I don't even know. I'm.
That's the most honest answer anyone has ever given me. I have to tell you.
I don't even know. Like, I don't see it myself. I have a couple of my friends. Like, I have one really, really close friend that he's like, he sees everything my way. We got like the same mindset and everything as well. And I kind of like tell him what I'm going through, and he kind of like listens and everything. But like he says, like I don't see it myself that I go through these things and it feels like it's painful. It is painful, but I feel like the people on the outside, when I tell them what it is, they're like, wow, I don't know how the heck you're doing it. I'm like, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, whatever it is that I'm going through, I'm huge on personal development. So I'll always find something that'll push me. Before I even started the business, I was always trying to develop personally.
Right.
Like reading books, listening to like nice audios, motivating audios and stuff like that. And when I'm going through those hard times, it's always just reading a positive book or listening to a positive audio and something that'll kind of like a mentor that I don't know that'll pull me, hey, this is where you need to go. And it's just audio or book. And I'm like, okay, get through it.
Do you have a mentor?
Not personally, but like I feel like I have a lot of mentors through books
Right.
and audios, not like person wise that I know. Not really, but I feel like,
I feel that way too. Unfortunately, I don't have a mentor that I can call, but I feel like if you're in that situation, you can definitely find what you need
yeah,
in a book or,
there's
someone's
so many
speech.
good books that you can find things out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are you reading now?
Right now, I am currently reading, is a bit, what is it called? It's Emergency Business Response.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It's Brandon Dawson. It's just like a short little book, but it's like talking about what we're talking about is how to get through or go through whenever you're in a crisis, how to get your business how to thrive from a crisis.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading.
Do you feel attached to your business in an identity type of way?
That's a good question. I'm getting now attached to my business in an identity way. I don't think I'm there yet. Still brand new, like a year and a half. I didn't really know before where I was going with the business or where I was going myself. And I'm getting more and more clear as time goes by what I want the goals and the targets for the business to be, and then what I want out of myself. I'm still young. I'm 25, if that's young. I like to say it's young.
It is. I wish I had your wisdom at 25. That's for sure.
So I'm still trying to figure it out, the identity, my identity and the business identity. But I'm getting more and more clear every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate. Sometimes I feel like I'm way too attached.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's good.
Right?
I think everything is good, honestly. I think everything is good. Even what's bad is good.
Right. So before we dive into you arriving to Miami, I have one more question regarding your business. Do you have like a business philosophy that you adhere to?
Not necessarily a business philosophy, but there's a lot of like things that I go by, a lot of like, I guess, quotes and stuff, but they're personal related and business related. I wouldn't say there's one that sticks out more than any, but just, I would say a few of them are like, consistency, just be consistent, be persistent, and fail forward. Just,
I like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Go for failure. You gotta, to win or to succeed, you have to fail. And if the more you fail, the more you're getting closer to where you're going. You're like, okay, this doesn't work. Okay, what works? So just fail forward, consistency.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've had to deal with a lot of failures?
Oh, yeah.
In a year and a half?
So much.
Really?
So much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So much. More than I could have ever imagined.
No way.
And I know, and where I'm at, I think it looks, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm doing good. And I know I'm going to continue to fail and continue to fail and continue to fail, but I'll continue to win and continue to win. So yeah, I think those would be a couple principles that that I go by.
What's your vision for Riva Transportation?
Well, there's like long term, there's short term, there's like 36 months, there's 5 years, there's 10 years. But I guess to be more broad, I want to be international. I want to be worldwide, really. I want to be able to build a team. Like, there's two different visions that I have. I have a vision for what I want the company to represent, and then I have my vision of how I want it to operate, right? Like, and the internal part, I want to have a great team where I can develop people. I love dealing with people. I love learning how to deal with people. I was going to say,
you're a people person.
I want to be a people person.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it takes, is to want to.
I heard businesses don't move people, people move businesses.
Yeah.
Right. But back to that, like internally, I want to build a team, and I want to develop a team, and I want the people inside my team to succeed. That's internally. And then on the outside, a vision, I want my company, my business to be international, worldwide, Europe, South America, all around the US, and be able to take care of as many people as possible through my services.
Yeah.
Completely international. Yeah.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
To see it happen. To see you make it happen.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Do you find it difficult to work with people? To have people dependent on you for their sustenance?
Yes.
Does that weigh heavily on you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I was working with my with the record label, I was like the closest that I was to someone that was successful. And I see like how he deals with his staff and his team, and I would ask him that. I was like, wow, like you have a bunch of people that respond to you that like if you die, like are these people good? Like all these people are like dependent on you, and he's growing and stuff too. So like there has to be a system where like if you're not there, there's something that it could still run. But like having people depend, whether it's your clients and your team and your staff or your family, when you feel like you're the center person there, it's like a big weight.
Yeah.
I think until you're at a place where there's a system in place where not everything depends on you.
Right.
But now, I do feel like there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. How do you handle the tough moments with people? Like you have to let go of someone, or someone you have to have that hard conversation where they're not really meeting the potential that you're seeking.
Yeah. It's tough. I'm like, the way I'm learning is just through experience and through failing. I'm sure I'm not that good with people. I'm developing right now. I'm developing my leadership skills. Like I want to be someone that I want to lead by example. I want to be able to, again, my goal is to develop people too. I want to build people to be the best version of themselves that are working in my team. Because my people win, I win automatically.
Exactly.
If they're winning in my business, that means they're pulling the business up. That means I'm also winning. But hard conversations are hard conversations. I haven't mastered that. I think it's tough.
It is. Yeah. It's like one of my worst nightmares. It's so, you don't want to crush anyone.
I know. I feel like I try to be so nice to people, and I want to be that.
Yeah.
Like,
but sometimes they need that truth that's unfiltered.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't want to be the one to give it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they see it a different way. Because like you might see it like, to keep it business, you got to keep it business. But like you're in the bottom and like in the back, you just really have to keep it separate, business from personal. You have to let them know from the beginning, I think, that business is business, but you still want them to win, but you got to let them know that business is business, and you got to put like.
Right. Where do you draw that line, that boundary where, your business can't get affected because of this other thing going on over here?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think when it would get easier, you just have to get through that hard for it to get easier. But like when you're still a small business and you don't have a lot of people on your team, it's still more of a personal connection with everyone. You still have to relate to everybody. You still have to talk to people in a way a little bit different. But when you get bigger, I think it's easier to just kind of let know, hey, look, there's metrics, there's things that are required. I feel like it just is. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It should be like that from the beginning, and let people know that it's, hey, business is business. This is what is required. Meet these requirements, or
these are non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get to that place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people you have working for you now, though, seem great.
Yeah.
And they seem to be having a great time. I met your social media specialist.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. Who did you meet? Because I got.
Oh, you have more than one. Okay.
Yeah, I got. Well, it was maybe Gabby or Michael, or Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah. You met
I met
Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah's great.
She was great.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was awesome.
She's great. Honestly, I'm still in the trial and error of finding people. I've found everyone until now, except for the people that I have. Like I've gone through over like 20, 25 people, maybe, believe it or not. It's like, It's hard. Maybe
and driving, driving someone around, it really takes more than just the capability to drive, right? Like there's that customer service aspect to it, the little details, certain behavior that need to be met.
Yeah. I feel like you could probably relate. Let's just say, you run your business, obviously this is your business and you know what you could do for people. You're like, me personally, I'm going to give the best service to whoever I'm dealing with, whether I'm cleaning floors, people are going to know I clean this floor because it's going to be the best floor that's clean.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll treat the people the best way as possible. But it's hard to promise something if you don't know if your team is capable of fulfilling those promises for your clients or for everyone else. It's definitely hard. But to find like I want to promise my client that I'm going to give them the best service, but how do I make sure that my driver is going to deliver? I'm only as good as my weakest driver, because they're just as important as me, because if I have someone that's quote unquote not the best driver, they're going to be driving someone that's important. They could be driving a Fortune 500 CEO or something, and that's going to be a reflection of me too. Yeah. So I have to make sure, because the weakest person on my team is going to be a reflection of myself too. So I have to make sure that I'm developing everyone. I want everyone in there to win. There's more opportunity for everyone in every aspect, from drivers to marketing or any of that. Yeah.
How do you make sure that you're constantly building that connection with your team?
Interesting. So actually now I just started doing this, and this is how I'm finding the best people. And I recommend this. Before I get people on board, I want to make sure they align with the company's goals, targets, mission, and vision. But I ask them what their personal, professional, and financial goals are to see, like, I want to be interested in them, and I want to help them reach their goals professionally, personally, financially, and see how that aligns with me. And if I can make it make sense for them, they'll make it make sense for me. Because if they're not worried about their finances personally, they're definitely not going to be worried about mine and my company's. Yeah. So I want to make sure they even have goals for their own finances. And if they don't, and they don't want to make goals, then it automatically is like, it doesn't make sense. But I'll help them find, if they don't know how to set goals or whatever, I want them to do that. But I will first find out what their personal, professional, and financial goals are. And I'll try to align that with them. And I say, hey, look, if you help the company win, here's what we will do for you. We're going to help you reach your personal, professional, and financial goals.
Wow. That's genius. That's amazing. Because it makes it feel like everyone's working together.
Yeah.
It's not just.
They're not just working for us. Exactly. They're not just working for the company. They're whatever they want, they will accomplish what they want, what their goals are, if they do such and such. And it has to align. Yeah. If it doesn't align, there's no point in
You don't even try.
Yeah.
Because why?
Yeah. And that has been a game changer right there. Just asking those questions.
That is so interesting. I'm definitely going to have to take notes on your process, because I think I might steal that.
Yeah. It's great. That really changed it for me.
Yeah.
Because you got to be interested in them.
Right. Yeah.
If
to
not,
really build that team, feeling, for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge so far?
Oh man, everything everything. I don't think there's one thing that's been the biggest challenge. It's been people. It's literally every aspect of business has had its toll on me as of now. It's been finances has been tough. It's been people have been so hard.
Yeah.
Marketing or getting content, digital. Oh man, every single aspect.
Can we go back to finances for a second? Because I know that's a big one for people.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to someone starting off and getting that, just being intimidated by having to dump so much money into a business?
It's
background music.
Advice that I would give on finance. Look, I'm not going to give any financial advice, but I would just say something that's kind of obvious is in general, whether it's money or not, you have to risk the risk to reward ratio, right? So if you don't risk anything, you're not going to gain anything. And just, if you want to start a business, don't just delay it, just do it. Obviously get the right information that you can as much as possible beforehand, but don't just wait for the right time. But when it comes to financially, it's like, you're going to do it either way, and you're going to lose money 100%. There's no doubt about it. You're going to lose money. So you have to be okay with that.
Dang.
It's scary, but
I love how transparent you are. Because it's true. Those are the things that nobody tells you. You know, everyone just cheers you on, which is so appreciated. But then you hit those walls.
Yeah. And it's tough, and you don't know where to go.
It was just you, but you're right. Everyone loses money.
Everyone is going to lose money. You are. If you want a guarantee, that is one of the guarantees of business. You will lose money. Right. 100%. I heard somebody say like, millionaires lose thousands to become millionaires. Billionaires lose millions to become billionaires. Things like that. You have to lose money to learn, from your mistakes and your experiences. You have to lose to win.
Right.
So you have to lose money to win money or to make money.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something. So a guarantee you're going to lose money.
And that doesn't freak you out.
It sucks. It doesn't freak me out, but I know that it's a reality. So I deal with it. I'm like, okay, if I want this, I know I'm going to lose money. It's okay. And money is just money.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Yeah.
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 It's a big part of your life. I mean, money's not everything. I heard someone say this. Money's not everything, but it's kind of like right up there with oxygen. You kind of need it to live. You
need it.
You know, so it is pretty important.
Right.
But you're going to lose money no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the best advice I've heard so far from everyone that we've had on here. So let's talk a little bit about your background. So you're originally from Peru.
So I don't just tell people I'm from Peru. I am from Peru. Well, I was born in Puerto Rico, but no one from my family is from Puerto Rico. Just me and my brother were born there.
Nice.
So I am American. And then when I was 6 years old, I moved to Peru, and I grew up in Peru. My dad's side of the family is from Peru. So I'm American and I'm Peruvian.
Nice. Yeah. How was that, like having your childhood over there?
I mean, that's just, for me, it was just regular because that's where I grew up, right? It's different when I transitioned.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was different than moving over here. But it was still like, I don't really know what life is over there too much because I was still a kid. I go back and I know what it is, but like I was still a kid, so I didn't really know what really the difference is, but it's just my reality.
Right. That makes sense. You weren't aware that this is like a whole different place. Yeah.
I was still going to, elementary. I was going to middle school, part of high school there. So I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. I'm not entering my life yet.
Yeah.
Elementary, middle school, high school is not your life.
Right.
Life starts like way after that.
Say that to a high schooler. My God, they think that it's like, this is it.
Yes.
And life is going to end, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough age.
But it's really interesting. It's very different culturally. But I went to an American school over there too. So I was like, it was a little bit of both. I was like, it was in an international school. So it was a bunch of different cultures. But I learned English and Spanish at the same time. And I felt like when I was in school, I felt like I was in the States. I would always travel back and forth and here and stuff. So it was. So
when you moved here for the long haul, it wasn't a shock or anything?
It was a shock in the sense, it was. So in Peru, in a third world country, like the reality is that most people, if you're not like at the bottom, like if you're doing okay, you don't even have to be doing good. If you're like okay, really, you live very, very comfortably. Like you do have like a cleaning lady that will come sleep at your house for 5 days a week. You'll have a driver for like, if you say like compare it now like American dollars to that, I'll just put it like this: you could have a driver for like $100 a day. Literally, so you'll have a driver for $3,000 a month. They'll come stay with you the entire day, if you wanted to do that. And same thing if you have a cleaning lady, someone to take care of you. I'd never had to, as a kid, like I didn't have to worry about anything. There was a point when I transitioned into what I'm doing right now, where I had everything. I had the silver spoon, and out of nowhere it was taken out, like completely. It was huge. Not when I moved here. After like 5 years, and then I got on my own, that's when the silver spoon was taken out. It's a whole different story. But the culture shock was different because when I would come back from school, I had my bed made, my clothes made, like washed and food ready and whatnot. And over here, I'm like, my mom's not doing that for me. So I'm like, okay. That was really like the big difference. I'm a kid too at that time. So like.
Yeah. And when you talk about getting that silver spoon removed, how was that?
That was crazy. Because it's like having given everything and not having to have worried about anything really, your whole life. I was probably like 19 or 20. And then my parents' business started, like, they got into this situation, and it just literally came from, like, literally, we're paying for your apartment here in Miami. Like, you don't have to work. You're not doing anything. So, hey, we can't even pay your apartment anymore. Either you got to go get a job or move back in with us and get a job or whatever. So it was completely from giving everything. I wasn't like extravagant or bougie. We weren't like crazy rich or nothing. I just didn't have to worry about nothing.
You had certain comforts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that got taken away.
And completely, like, not slowly, like, here, you have an allowance of this, now it's less. Right. It was just like, here you have it, now you don't. From one day to another.
Do you feel like that helped you?
Definitely. I think that's a big turning point for anyone that actually that has a turning point like that. They always say that's the difference. Some people, when they have that thing where they have something and then they have nothing, they'll go, okay, I'll continue to have nothing, or that will be the turning point where, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself and I'm gonna make something out of it.
Right. Do you ever get concerned that that could happen again? Do you know what I mean? Like,
it has. Yeah, in my business.
Right.
Multiple times. Not in this specific business, in other times where I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I invest all my money and I lose it, and I'm in a position where I just literally lost everything. I can't afford my apartment, sleeping in my car. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Like crazy stuff.
Yeah. But you keep going.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, where else to go?
Yeah.
I mean, there is somewhere to go, but like,
some people would be so jaded by that experience.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. It's not fun. It definitely is not fun. It's not like you don't, like, 5 years ago today, I did have a vision. I knew that I'm going to be successful, and I know where I'm going. That's what kept me pushing. But like, it's not like you're going through the moment and you're like, I'm not going to worry about it because I know I'll be good in 5 years, because you're like, this is in the moment right now. So like, I got to deal with it.
Right.
So it is definitely tough. It's not fun. It's tough. It's tough.
But you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it, and it's obviously working. So
it's fun. I'm here for the ride.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Literally.
And metaphorically.
Literally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe that should be like your slogan or something.
That's funny.
That's when you do your team building.
Yeah. You gave me an idea. I love that.
Yeah, I think you should embrace that. It's perfect.
Yes.
So you did not, and we were talking about this a little earlier. You did not finish your college degree.
No.
Which I think it's. To be honest, I think it's exciting to see someone in business and successful not go the traditional route, because we're so ingrained that to be successful, you need to like follow, steps 1, 2, 3, and that's not real life.
And where does that lead most people?
I mean,
the sheep,
to a huge loan, and
oh my God, exactly.
Not usually, we can't speak for everybody, but usually to not very fulfilled lives. Yeah.
It's like, if you do what most people do, you're gonna get the same results as most people. Most people, we know where most people are really.
Right.
Doing the same stuff.
So that's why I wanted to bring that up, so that if anyone's going through something like that, questioning whether they should finish school or not.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to say don't go to school. But I would say it's not necessary. I would definitely say that education. I don't really know. I'm not educational. I don't even want to say anything specific. I don't really know, but I just know it's broken. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree with you. It is.
You said you were a teacher.
Yeah, it is. And it's so interesting because you're an avid reader, and you said, you're constantly, you know what you need to work on. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars and sit in a classroom to learn that.
Well, guess what? I kind of do. Not in a traditional classroom, but like I go to workshops. I go to like.
Right, but those, I feel like that's different because you know exactly what you're attending, what you're seeking out.
Yes.
You're like, this is exactly what I need. That's what I'm going to pay for.
Yeah. And to be honest, I was never good in school. Not in high school at all whatsoever. I never really read any books till about, I think 2018, I read my first book. And is that 4 years or 5 years? Yeah, 4 years. I've read probably like 60 books, around 60 books in 4 years. So prior than 2018, I had never read a book in my life. Yeah. Not even like those school, when you sit down in high school and they make you read the books, I never read any of the books.
You were looking at the Spark Notes?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And now I love reading. I love learning.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Give me some book recommendations, like your top must reads.
It just depends in what field.
Let's say like you could read only one book for the rest of your life. Which one would you carry?
One book. Oh wow.
I know. Only one. It's a tough one. Okay, let's do top 3.
Okay, top 3 is good. Top 3, and I'll give you my top 1. Books are personal.
Yes,
right?
They are. It says a lot about the person.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of interested to see what your answer is going to be.
I would say Asking It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. I would say Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I read that one. That
was the first book I ever read.
That one's impressive. Like, I honestly, when I picked up that book, actually my husband recommended it. I was like, here we go. One of those self-development, like, I was so judgmental.
Yeah.
And I started reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. I can't believe people, like, kids in school should be reading this stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
No, I love it. I love talking about that book. I love talking about books, and especially when we connect. When someone's like, "Oh, I read that book too," I'm like, I want to hear what they think about it. That was actually the book that changed my whole life.
That did it for you.
Yeah, that was a turning point. It's not even like necessarily a money book. It's just a mindset book, really.
Definitely. It's funny. I think I have a quote here from him.
Oh, I love it.
Somewhere in here.
He has a lot of good things.
Yeah, he has a lot of great quotes. I can't find it right now. I'll text it to you later.
Yes, text it to me. I'd love to hear it. Let me think of my third book. Asking It Is Given, definitely. Think and Grow Rich. And I'll give more like one's a spiritual book, one's a mindset book. And I'll say the next book that did a lot for me was The 12-Week Year.
That I have not read.
It's not a very, very big famous book, I don't think, but it changed the way I operate daily.
Right.
In the sense of not just setting targets, but the title of the book is The 12-Week Year, and underneath it says how you can accomplish more in 12 weeks, rather how you can accomplish what you accomplish in 12 months, but in 12 weeks.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order that one tonight.
It's and for me to say it's in my top 3, it's
yeah. Do you let time pressure you in the sense that you're like, okay, by this time I'm gonna have met these goals? Because I'm that way too.
Yes.
What happens when those goals are not met by that time that you've set? How do you deal with that?
I feel uncomfortable.
Me too.
But it's fine. I'll never lower my target.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they're not met by that point. So it really is just to kind of like make it short. That specific book is like how you can accomplish what you would normally in 12 months, but in 12 weeks. It gives you a shorter time limit, because when people they do their New Year's resolutions, they have their long-term goals. They just think you have so much time throughout the year. Let's say you want to lose, 50 pounds, or you want to get in shape, or whatever the case is. You keep on delaying. You're like, I still got a year. I still got 10 months, 8 months. Yeah. But when you're crunched down, you're like, I got 12 weeks, which is 3 months, 90 days. As time goes back, as time moves forward, you're like, okay, wait, literally every day counts and every minute counts, every hour. Like, it gets down to like, okay, I don't have this much time to actually accomplish it. So it makes you aware of how valuable time is.
Right.
So, and that book changes the way how you view, I guess, time, and how to actually, it shows you like a whole setup on how to actually go by every day and get things done.
Right. That's so interesting. Time is like it's been coming up a lot for me. So yesterday, my daughter asked me before bedtime, why is time a concept? It shouldn't be, because time's a thief. I'm like, oh my God, it's so late to be so deep. I can't deal with this right now.
How old is she?
She's 10.
10.
No, she just turned 11.
10, 11. Yeah. Asking deep questions.
Like, how the heck do I answer that? And now today you're talking to me about time. It's like,
it's valuable. It's so valuable. And there's there's a couple of different ways to look at things. When you kind of want to get spiritual, you're like, it's a different thing than when you want to get like things done. You're like,
Right.
at the end of the day, nothing really matters.
Right.
Just what you're experiencing at the moment. Just be happy and, you know, enjoy life. That's what life is here to be for, to be enjoyed, right?
Right.
But then when you're trying to accomplish things, you're like, wait, don't just let time go by, like get things done, because you only have this time.
Right.
So.
But don't you feel like your responsibility to your business and getting these things done take you to happiness?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like, at least in my case, whenever I'm actually doing things and being productive and working towards something, I feel happy. Like,
Me too.
I feel uncomfortable if I'm just sitting down. I can't.
Idled. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, me too.
It's like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I can relate to you so much on that, because I feel the same way. I feel like I'm wasting something.
Yeah.
In this case, time, obviously, but more than that. Like there's just so much, and I get such fulfillment when you do something. You're in that productivity zone, and you get to that like goal, that target.
Yeah.
Like,
when you're working towards something, I don't even know how to describe it. It just, you feel like you're getting accomplished. It's like you're winning, and when you win, you feel good. Like you win a game or a sport, you feel good. And when you're working towards something and you're accomplishing even little things, if you're on a streak, you just feel great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
again, there's two ways to think about it. It's like time when it really comes to it, and you're being like spiritual and life is amazing. It's like, you know what, time shouldn't matter. These things can wait. But then when you're trying to get things done, like business or anything, you're like, wait, I don't got the time.
You have to balance it out.
Yeah.
Right? Know when to go for either one.
Yeah.
Have you ever read The Science of Getting Rich?
I have. Small book.
That's the one that I had the quote on. I got confused.
Okay.
That one is
tell me the quote.
The small one. No, back to our quote. In order to relate yourself to formless intelligence in a harmonious way, practice gratitude.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So are you all about the energy, frequency, and vibrations, and that type of...
Does that make me sound like a crazy person? Yes.
What does? Yes?
Yeah, if I say yes.
No, that's what I have a tattoo on my neck that says energy. One of my thighs says frequency, another one that says vibration.
So then you'll understand. Yeah. I'm very much into, and I've always been this way. I just didn't know it was like a thing. Like I'm very much into how I feel like in a room or with someone. If you get like weird vibes or I just no.
Yeah.
No.
It's the vibration, vibes.
Yeah.
It's the vibration, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And I practicing gratitude really is good for me.
It is.
Yeah.
I think everyone should do that.
Oh, for sure. It's such a game changer for your mental health, for everything.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not just like sitting there and be like, yeah, I'm grateful for my house or whatever. Obviously those are, but really like trying to find those little moments where I can just.
When I started reading, and I don't know what book it was or who I heard to do this from. A lot of people say it, but whatever made me start doing that, I actually had my gratitude journal where I would literally write every single day a whole page of what I'm grateful for every single day.
I used to do that too. And I stopped this year. I don't know why I haven't done it. And I feel the difference in how I react to things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's just, in different times of your life, you not that it's unimportant. That's very important. But there's some things where I feel like everyone's like, okay, this is what needs my time the most. Because if I'm grateful, if I feel grateful, it's going to change my mindset. And then once you're very grateful and then you're in a better headspace and a better mindset, then you're like, okay, wait, now let me put my time here and here. And then you get away from it because you're already in a good place.
Right.
And then if you feel like you need to go back to it, you go back to it. But it's just, again, time. What are you putting your time towards?
Right. Exactly.
So let me ask you too. I'm curious what your 3 favorite books are. Top 3.
Oh my gosh. Dang, no one.
You have to have those down. You have to have those. You can't ask everyone what theirs are and you not have your 3 down.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go with my book choices are all over the place. So there's this book that I read a long time ago, and it's just somehow it's so crazy that it stayed with me. It's called Flowers in the Attic. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I haven't.
It's
I'm
intense.
curious.
It's
okay.
like It's crazy stuff that happens to people, like one of those like thrillers type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But the reason why besides the plot, the lady that wrote it, she was bedridden. So she wrote from her bed because she was sick. And she was, I think the book came out in the 40s or 50s. And she was, you know, like a spinster, single, like not your typical writer. And I think she approached over 35 publishers. And they all said no until she got that last yes. And she's one of the top selling authors, American authors ever. So I always like...
What's her name?
Her pen name is V.C. Andrews.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not her legal name. I don't remember what her legal name is, but that's her pen name. And yeah, it just... Like,
there goes back to you have to fail so many times if you got 35 no's.
Imagine 35 no's.
I'll tell you what, you get into...
like, forget this. I'm moving on to something else.
If you get into sales, which you should, everyone I think should be into sales. You're always selling something.
Yeah.
You're selling your ideas to your friends or whatever it is. But if you get into sales for your business and things, 35 no's is nothing.
Right. Yeah.
It's like from 100 people you might reach, you're gonna get, depends on what you're offering in your audience or whatnot, but you're gonna get from 100 people, you're gonna get maybe 5 or 10 yeses. You're gonna go through 90 no's.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you can't take it personal. You just have to keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so that's book number 1.
That's book number 1. Book number 2 would be I'm gonna go with Marcus Aurelius Meditations.
Okay. I've heard of it. I know Marcus Aurelius.
You know it. I just haven't read that book. You've heard it like a million times.
Yeah.
His stuff is everywhere. Yeah. But that one I really, really like, even though I haven't read it in a long time. And then number 3, oh my God. So Jordan Peterson, his 12 rules.
Really? Someone told me that's like, I think it was on Wednesday at the Joy Beach thing. We were talking. Someone said that too.
You have to read it. You would enjoy, you will take so much from it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's great. I love seeing his interviews too. Yeah. So I'm curious. I'm interested.
Did you see him when he was here in Miami when he had his talk?
No, I didn't.
Oh man, yeah.
When was that?
I think it was back in February.
Did you go?
March. Yes, I did. It was incredible.
Oh my God.
It was amazing. He spent like most of the time talking about Nietzsche and the concept of, God is dead. It was just like the way, like you could see his mind processing as he's speaking. It's just incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a very
man's
interesting
a monster in the best.
Yeah, in the best way.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Very knowledgeable. It's like there's those few little people, they're like geniuses.
Right.
Few
and
people
he's
like
walking amongst us, So yeah, you would definitely enjoy that book a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with those.
Okay.
Those are my top 3.
Okay, cool. Let me write those down. I have a big reading list that I'm like, when do I get to the next one? But I want to write those down.
Do you read your books on paper? Or
yes,
you do...
I hate reading them online. I have to read them on paper. I have to.
So
tell me them one more time.
So Jordan Peterson is the 12 Rules for Life. And then Marcus Aurelius is Meditations. And the other one is Flowers in the Attic. Let me know when you read that. You're going to be like, what is this woman making? What is wrong with her?
And the other one, the last one?
Flowers in the Attic. That's the...
Okay. Cool. I got those down.
Yeah. And I'll link the ones that you mentioned below so everybody can go check them out.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, how did you get involved with Swim Week? It's like so exciting.
It's very interesting because it's not like my business necessarily. My business really caters to a lot of business owners and executives. I take care of those people. And Swim Week is kind of it's kind of off from my specific business. But I've worked with several events, taking care of transportation.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I need to get my brand awareness. Let me just reach out to a few different people. And I had, going doing my research and stuff. I saw the upcoming events in Miami like 6 months ago. I was planning throughout the year. And I reached out and I got a response from Kachita, got on the phone, got on a Zoom call, and she was excited.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we can really do something. So I'm excited. Let's work together. Let's see what we can make happen. And as time went by, we kept talking a little bit more. And we're like, let's just do it.
Have you enjoyed it so far? Would you do more events this large?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking I'm excited with this one. I'm like, man, what's the next one? But this is so
What's
unique.
Basel, right? Would you?
That's too far away. I'm gonna
in
do
December.
that.
Yeah.
Another 6 months, 5 months.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to partner with like a specific event, because obviously my company, my business takes care of clients during that time, but we don't work with a specific event. But I feel like it'd be cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it's a great fit, and it makes so much sense. I'm glad that you figured that out.
Yeah,
it's like, why not?
Yeah,
you know,
it's fun. It's super cool, and I'm so excited. I hope next year and the following years I can continue to do this. It's very fun.
I'm sure it's gonna work out perfectly. Yeah. So I want to thank you for coming and sharing with us, and your amazing company and all your wise words. I'm sure I know I certainly got a lot from it. I'm sure everyone else did too.
Thank you so much.
And I want to thank everybody for coming,
watching,
for watching and being with us, and excuse the out of our
noises.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on here, which is very exciting, I have to say.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely nice to be out of our little comfort studio.
I'm curious. I want to check your actual studio out too.
I was gonna say you need to come by, because it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun in the studio. But this is like like a something different to do. So it's exciting for me. But yeah, the studio is more like at home. Yeah, this is like vacation. Your vacation house.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for sharing your time with me.
No, absolutely.
And giving me the opportunity to come on your podcast.
No, it's our pleasure. And big shout out to Kachita from Style on the Spot.
Thank you so much, Kachita,
for having us, and to Miami Swim Week, and to the Faena for providing us with this super nice room. And we will see you all next time.